And Washington's back on the offensive in Iraq, and it's a case of history repeating itself.
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq and Kuwait.
To strike military and security targets in Iraq.
At this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq.
Will not hesitate to take action against ISIL in Syria as well as Iraq.
Now, America's fighter jets have carried out new offensive strikes on military positions just outside of the Iraqi capital. Now, instead of just protecting American personnel, Washington's proclaimed goal is to eliminate the Islamists. And it's not just Iraq that is to be bombed on Obama's orders, but also Syria. The White House even promised retaliation if Damascus uses its air defenses to intervene in the operation. In the meantime, Iran has rejected the possibility of cooperating with Washington on this matter. The supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has now called Obama's strategy shallow and biased. Let's talk more on it. I'm joined now from Tehran by Soraya Sepapul-Ulrich, a prominent researcher and expert on the country. A pleasure to see you today. Thanks for joining us on RT International. Why do you think Iran doesn't want to cooperate with the U.S. with fighting the Islamic State?
I think Iran is well aware of what the United States endgame is. And as it was mentioned before in your lead up to this, they have been observing America repeat the same pattern. And they're well aware that this is not really a fight against a group of terrorists of the makings of Americans themselves and their allies, but it's really to reoccupy the Persian Gulf region and to really its end goal is to remove Assad from power and to reoccupy Iraq and then perhaps even take the offensive to Tehran. So Tehran, although I think they appreciate the threat from these terrorist groups, which they call ISIL or ICE right now, they also understand that without Americans, without the Saudi money, American training, they wouldn't be existing here in the first place.
But Soraya, I'm so sorry if I can jump in, because I think you're giving me two answers here. I wanted to ask you, the U.S. says, quote, the door remains open for Iran, but at the same time refuses to invite Tehran to a meeting of top diplomats to discuss ways of tackling the Islamists. So why is that?
Well, it's very hard to believe anything America says. Initially, I think the United States had sought assistance from Iran to tackle the group, and Iran had not shown, was not interested in helping Americans militarily. I think they would stand by the Iraqis, they would stand by Syrians, but I don't think Iran is interested in a joint military operation, intelligence operation, or any kind of operation with the United States. And I don't think it's very seemly for a superpower, for the United States, to broadcast to the world that it's been turned down by Iran. So I think it likes to twist it and make believe that Iran is uninvited. I don't believe that I think America would very much like to drag Iran into this. And I think that the whole purpose is to weaken each state in the region by using these terrorists. It's an age-old American tactic. It has always worked, and I think Iran is too smart to be dragged into this quagmire.
Now, Soraya, when you talk about weakening states in the region, let's bring Syria into the equation now. American warplanes not just striking Iraq, but poised to strike positions in Syria as well. The West continues to support Syrian opposition groups, despite the reported links between the rebels and the Islamic State. This sounds like a very dangerous policy.
It is, and it's really senseless from a very logical standpoint, from the point of view of people who seek stability and peace. But this group is doing exactly what America wants it to do. They're destroying each government, Syrian government, the Iraqi government, weakening them. At the same time, they're giving America an excuse to intervene. I mean, a year ago, the false narrative of a chemical weapons attack by the government of Assad didn't work. The American people are not on board for yet another war. But when they present these really doctored, shoddy propagandist pieces of the beheadings, then American people are now more on board for yet another war. I mean, this is exactly what America wanted. America wanted the American people on board to wage another war. And to do that, in order to do that, of course, they're going to arm the rebels even more. And at the same time, the rumors that America is giving intelligence to the Assad government. So it's creating chaos. It's really destroying every country in the region. And I hope that every nation is smart enough to resist the temptation, not to get dragged in, but somehow to stop the United States, be it through trade or through really harsh diplomatic means, stop America from destroying every country in its path.
All right, Soraya Sepapul-Ulrich, a prominent researcher and expert on Iran. Thank you so much for joining us here on RT International today. A pleasure. Thank you.